Hi, and good morning, everyone. It's Melissa. Hope you are doing well. Let me double check that we are good to go in the group for our hashtag Thursday Fave session today here in the Bakery Business School group on Facebook. Let me make sure. I think we're okay, but I don't like to start these without knowing for sure. Okay, perfect. Facebook. And here I am. Now I'm going to turn my volume down, but I'm going to leave this on so that I can see any comments. Anyone showing up, I want to make sure you get the best experience possible right here in this group live, because that is the purpose of these lives. I want to be able to connect with you one-on-one. I want you to feel supported in your baking business journey. I want you to know that someone is here for you, even in this big wide world. We might not know each other yet, but we can get to know each other. So feel free to join me here every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you are a person who is seeing this on the replay, you can throw up your hashtag replay. If you want to be here live, you can send me a friend request on the Facebook platform. I will accept it and be able to invite you to these live events. You can join the email list on our website to get replay links sent directly to your inbox, which I usually send out about once a week. Or you can just note that 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every Thursday, I'm right here with you talking about a new subject every week. Anyway, those are the ways that you can get in here and get live if that's how you want to do this. Now, you have to have clients to have a business, right? That's kind of, the amount of clients is going to vary depending on what you do, but clients and customers are the lifeblood of our business. Sales are the lifeblood of our business. So that's very important. And that's why we are covering the art of attracting clients today. Because when I just added 20 or 30 new people to the group the other day, I usually ask, hey, what do you want to hear about right away? So I can kind of get a vibe for the new people in the group and what they're looking for. And I want to say about 5 or 6 of that group all said they want to know more about attracting clients and growing their client base. So that is why we are talking about this today. If you're here live, you can throw up your hashtag live. Let me know how you're doing today. Get the comment section rolling. Now, in the comments, either live or on replay, I would like you to let me know what is one thing that you are doing to attract new clients. Okay, it's just anything that you can think of. What's a strategy or a tactic that you are currently using or trying to use, even if it's not working that well, trying to use to attract new clients? Let's get a list going in the comments so that we can take a look at that. Now, I will say in this specific industry of baking business, you are going to need the right type of client, like most industries, to be able to run a sustainable food business. That's very important. And I will say right off the bat, although your pricing is not necessarily the point of this live today, I want you to know that your pricing is a marketing strategy and it's going to attract the level of client that you need. So just keep that in mind, that might be something that we need to work on a little bit later. And I'll tell you at the end a way that we can work on it together if you want to. So we're gonna discuss 3 do's and 3 don'ts of attracting clients. And you can just let me know in the comments as we're going through these, are you doing them? Are you not doing them? Is it making sense to you? Is there something else kind of coming up in your brain as you're listening? I want to see all that in the comments so we can discuss. All right, now I'll mention the do's and don'ts to make it more simple. Although attracting clients is a large topic, there could be a lot of things going on in your business right now that we would discuss one-on-one in private coaching or something like that if we were working together. So I don't know exactly what's happening to you on the daily basis, but these are 3 do's and don'ts that are super big. I always mention these first if anyone's having trouble with getting clients in the door or retaining clients. So let's talk about them. We're going to start with the don'ts because I just think it's more fun to start with the don'ts sometimes and get those out of the way before we talk about the do's to kind of mentally help you strategize a little better so we can make room, push the don'ts out and put the do's in. Hey, Julia, you stream your baking on Twitch Live. You stream your baking on Twitch Live. Cool. So it sounds like to me that Julia is inviting people to watch her expertise and her skill level, inviting them into her workspace to kind of feel like they're one-on-one with her as she's performing the skill that she will eventually sell to them, hopefully, right? So that is definitely a really good way to go about it. Hey, Anita, good to see you. All right. So number 1, don't forget about your current clients. Like, this is so easy to do, at least for years and years, I didn't really see how important this was, because I didn't have a lot of marketing training at the time. I didn't have, when I first started my business like 16 years ago, I was kind of just doing it because I knew how to do it and people were giving me money to do it, but I wasn't a business owner, if that makes sense. I wasn't thinking about things like on the perspective of business specifically. So this is a huge one if you haven't put a lot of thought into this. I want you to treat your current clients well and often, and I want you to make them feel special in a way that feels good for you. That might not be the same as somebody else. You might want to do XYZ, someone else might want to do something else. That's fine. Everyone has like different love languages and how they like to be treated. So you might want to do it in a way that feels best for you. And the reason I'm mentioning this as a number one don't forget about the current client, is that sometimes when people say they want more clients, they don't necessarily mean more people, they mean more sales. And a new client and a sale are two completely different things, because that sale can come from a current client. So you don't have to do the work and put in the energy and money to get a new face. You could actually contain a lot of your business in a small subgroup of people, which we're going to talk about in the do's, and generate most of your sales from them over and over and over again. So if more sales is actually your goal, this is definitely where I would start. Look at your current clients. How are you treating them? How do they know they're special? What are you doing to make them feel like they don't ever want to leave you? So even if you've only made a couple sales, like 3 sales or less, even if it's just a few, try and find a way to make sure that those few people know that they're top of mind. You're thinking about them, you consider them a special person in your business, and you want to treat them in some way. And essentially, you want to continue to build a relationship with them in a way that's sustainable for you. In this industry and many other industries, the average is about 7 times harder to attract a new client rather than gain a sale from a past client. And this is just facts, numbers from how much does it cost to gain a new client, how much work you have to do to find one, etc. Reason being, you might think, why? That doesn't make sense. Reason being, someone has to have multiple positive interactions with you and your brand before usually they will cross the fence and purchase. So that is usually around 7 to 10 times that they have to see you, know you, like you, and trust you before they actually hand over a credit card. So sometimes when we're thinking about marketing and posting on social media, we forget that someone has to see you a bunch of times before they'll ever make a move. So even if you're posting and you feel like no one's listening and no one's watching, they might not be interacting with you because maybe your interaction tactics need a little TLC, but just because they're not interacting doesn't mean they're not seeing it, and doesn't mean it's not been a positive impact on that journey that they have to take to become a client. So, some other examples might be, well, as I mentioned, seeing a post or trying samples somewhere, or going to a party where someone has your stuff there and they've tried it, seeing reviews online, seeing you out and about, like at an event or the grocery store or something like that. But once a person has jumped that fence and made the decision to be your customer, just even one time, each time after that, it's almost a no-brainer to buy again. They don't have to do that mental agility to decide if the purchase is a good one or not, because they've already done it. They've already done the work before. So they just make the choice usually of yes. Now, granted, this also depends on you offering a good product and a good service to them. So that, your services and your products have to be good to continue customer retention, which is honestly one of the biggest trainings inside the elite program, that one of the most popular, because customer retention is the basis of a strong business. You want to keep those people around. So if you're in business and you've made a bunch of sales and people are not returning, it could be that you need to nurture them a little bit more. You need to continue the relationship with them in some way. If you have an idea of how people might be able to do that, I have my own ideas on that. Go ahead and put them in the comments. We can all discuss here. The main way that I do it is through an email list and a VIP group. That's the easiest way for me. And they get, like little freebies, and they get first dibs on almost everything, stuff like that. So that helps them feel special. And specifically at local events, I bake or make a specific thing that I don't sell, but I put it in little containers. And if you're in the VIP group, you can walk up to the table and tell me that you're VIP, and then you get it for free. So it's very low cost, like Rice Krispie treat, you know, banana bread. Those were the last two I did. But it makes people feel super special to like get a little free thing in their bag or walk up and get a treat just because they're part of the group, you know? So things that are easy for you to do, but make people feel good. Okay, hey, Allie, good to see you. Yeah, so glad you're here. Okay, if you're here live, you have questions or comments, pop them in. All right, number 2, so do not forget about the past clients. Number 2, don't talk about sales every time you talk to your audience. It's like, it's not gonna work out. It makes people feel uncomfortable, okay? Because you're not a sales machine, you're a person. So do not talk about sales every time you talk to your audience. And selling, and just as a little side note, selling on your personal page is not a good idea. So that's what your business page is for. Selling on your personal page, you can talk about what you do, but trying to make sales there by the intention of the post is not, psychologically, people aren't there to see that. So it's going to turn them off. All right. So posting about what you do is fine, but not trying to make a sale with your personal post, if that makes sense. Like you do that in groups, do that in your VIP group, do that in your business page. So one reason you might be having trouble attracting new people is that you might be talking about sales too much and not noticing. So think about your posts, your videos, anything you're putting up. Do you almost always have something for sale? Posting about a product, sharing your page or site, etc. Are you posting, if it's not your business page, if it's not a business group, then, you know, what's the intention behind what you're doing? If the answer is yes, yeah, like I feel like I don't really have anything else to post. I'm just posting sales, I'm just posting what I'm making and asking people if they want it, that kind of thing. I want you to consider adding some new pillars or some new sections to your posting strategy that show your authentic self. And this is something Autumn just covered a couple of days ago in the elites, all about being authentic online. That's where the internet's going now. People need to know, like, and trust you as a person, usually before they are going to patron your business, essentially. So if you're kind of a hermit and you don't like to be out there connecting with people, maybe try to find a way to make that work that feels okay for you. But essentially I feel like people need to see your authentic self before they're going to start laying down their credit card anymore, right? They want to make sure that you're a real person and you're trustworthy. So a way to kind of think about this is think about marketing like a party. If you entered the room at a party and immediately started talking about what you have to sell and had absolutely nothing else to say, that would be weird, right? You know, if you walked in and you're just like, I have 12 cupcakes, they're $12. And that's all you said the whole time. And then you're like, I have brownies, you know, that could be kind of weird. But if you were like, oh yeah, I love to garden, like here's some pictures of my garden, or, oh my gosh, my kid won first place in spelling bee. Like, look at this picture of my kid. Think of it as a conversation of like hanging out with people, you know, what would you say? How would you talk about your life? What would you share? So think about what you're interested in, what you care about. Start posting about that too. Join groups about that, not just sales, locally, and start getting involved. As an example, I'm in a local plant group, like literally just about people who like plants where I live, okay? Because yes, I am that weird plant mom, and I literally have over 55 indoor plants in my house. It's an obsession, it's who I am. It's not about baking, but it's what I do. And they're all like staring at me all day long. So I want to show them off. I want to talk about my plants. I want to help people with plant questions, all that kind of stuff. And these people will probably eventually find out that I also have a baking business. We live in the same place. Sometimes I talk about it on my personal page, that kind of thing. And because they know me as a plant lady friend, they probably already trust me and have seen my authentic self. And so if they wanted to make a sale, they probably, like if they wanted to make a purchase, they probably would, because they're like, hey, I've seen her posting her house, you know, pictures of her plants, and she's cool and we're kind of the same. So I'm going to buy from her, right? Autumn, the in-house marketing coach, she covers the steps to creating your pillars, all those section categories. Doesn't have to be a lot, but categories of what you kind of want to talk about on a scheduled basis inside the elite program as well. There's like a full section on setting that up, clearing your brain, figuring out what you want them to be, and then setting up a very simple marketing strategy using those pillars of content. And again, that's also one of the more popular ones because it helps you set up that authentic online presence super easy. you know exactly what you want to talk about. It becomes a kind of a no-brainer after a couple months of doing it. You just know, oh, if one of my pillars was gardening, which it is, or beekeeping or something like that, I want to talk about it. I will think in the back of my head, oh, I haven't really posted about that. I'll look back on my feed. Oh, I posted about my kid, and then I posted about some cookies I was working on. I posted about our trip, and now I feel like it's time to post about gardening. So I'll make the post, and it becomes more of a natural, streamlined way to interact online, because you already know what you want to talk about, right? You don't have to think about having to think about all this again. You just take pictures along, like you normally do in your life, and then you share when it's time to share. Super easy. Kenesha says, have lots of customers that want to be my Facebook friend. So if you've noticed, depending on who they are, it depends on, what kind of life you have. I know some people's jobs don't necessarily allow this, but I invite you to be my friend on Facebook because I've set up my account to be public. And if you are my friend on Facebook, you're going to see my personal page post, number one, more often, because that's the Facebook algorithm. It feeds personal posts over any business post that you're going to make. And if you're my friend, you will see my post in any group page or business page more often, because now we're connected. So it looks like you don't want to be friends with them on Facebook, but I would actually suggest setting up your personal profile to be open and public in a way that would make that work, if you want to use Facebook as an sale generating platform. I know not everyone wants to do that. I know that might feel uncomfortable, so you don't have to, but I will say that that's kind of the basis of the platform algorithm, and it makes it easier for people to know, like, and trust you and to become customers. So it's possible they're trying to become your friend on Facebook because they want to know if they trust you or not. So it could be why they're trying to do that. If you don't feel comfortable, it's obviously always your choice, but that's probably why they're doing it. Hey, Lori, good to see you. Yeah. So let me know if you're having any issues. You can send me a message if you're not sure what's going on with that, but just something to think about. All right. And as I just mentioned with her comment, they want to know, like, and trust you before becoming a customer. So sending a friend request is kind of one of the ways that people tend to do that, especially if you have a private account. They can't see anything about you. They don't know anything about anything. So it might be, something to think about. And eventually I do believe that it turns into sales, especially like local baking sales, because of the way the algorithm works and the way local communities normally work. All right, number 3 is don't try to attract everybody. We've talked about this a number of times. I'm bringing it up again because it can be super hard it can be easy to forget that everyone's not your customer, and it really is not beneficial to you or your target market to continue to try to talk to everyone. And I'm gonna spell out why it's actually not benefiting your customers and why you're probably attracting less people. So you will expend more time and energy marketing yourself when you're not focused. It's like, like a spray gunshot, if you want to use that term. Like, you're trying to do all this stuff and say all these things, but you're not actually sure who you're talking to. That gets vague and that gets confusing. So if you're focused and clear about who you want to serve, what you're doing, who you want your client to be, what your skills are, and how you can serve people best, that's going to make more sense to that subset of people who are watching. So we're talking about the concept of target marketing. You can actually attract more people from that smaller targeted focused subset group than all these people who aren't sure if you're talking to them or not. Okay, so it might feel weird to do it, thinking like, oh, well, I don't even know how many people are in this group. I really suggest, if it is your skill set that you're good at, and that's the ideal person you want to work with, start marketing to them, start using copy and photos that are going to attract that certain group of people, and see how many people come out of the woodwork saying, yes, that is for me. Yes, you are talking to me. Yes, that's a product that I need, because you're speaking directly to them. Some quick examples would be focusing on the wedding industry, focusing on keto clients, focusing on kids-themed birthdays, focusing on dessert tables, shipped products, etc. Right? There's lots of little subsets of groups of people. And even your pricing is a form of target marketing, like I mentioned before, which is something that we're going to cover in the upcoming pricing bootcamp to lay out exactly what I mean by that and how you can work your pricing to target certain groups. So when you're building your photography, when you're choosing what to photograph and how to photograph it, what you're putting on social media, what your copy, like what your messages actually say when you are typing things out on social media, on your menu, on your business page, on your website, all of that is going to be focused on the group that you're looking to target, and even incorporating things like long-term strategies, using certain hashtags, running certain campaigns that are long-term campaigns where you kind of do say, post, share the same type of thing every so often. If you're very clear about who you're calling out, they're going to notice that you're talking to them. And I want to give you another example that's a little bit away from your personal baking business. And I want to talk about this group. So I help baking business entrepreneurs, right? That's what I do. I do it because I'm a baker and I know the industry. But let's say that this group was for, instead of baking business entrepreneurs, this group was for business entrepreneurs, not specifically baking business. I have a feeling that when you saw the group, you probably wouldn't have clicked on it or even joined it because it wasn't calling to you as a baker. You are a subset of entrepreneurs. You bake. So I was specifically wanting to work with you because I know the industry and I have more skills to serve you because I know more about it. So I wanted you to be here in the group and not someone who's trying to run, you know, a lawn care business, or someone who's trying to sell cars, or someone who is running a daycare. Like, although you might do some of those things too, I know that you're a baker because I have called you out and you have said, yes, that's me, I'm coming. So that is target marketing, right? And the best part about target marketing is that you end up working with the perfect client, as I mentioned, right? You end up working with the people that are going to serve you best as customers and clients because you've called them out and they have answered the call. And the reason this is happening is that you allow them to self-select by your messaging. So they think to themselves when they're reading your messaging, when they're looking at your photos, when they're looking at your website, when they're looking at your business page, yes, that's for me. Or they're looking at it and they're saying, no, that's not for me. Rather than being on the fence or wasting your time sending you questions or passing you by altogether because your information is too big, right? So just, you know, target marketing is huge. Yes, you are welcome. Yeah, hopefully that made sense about the Facebook page stuff. Julia says, how do you identify your true target market? I have a really hard time separating it from everyone. So Julia, it can be hard because it's honestly, I think, has to do more with maybe needing some extra time brainstorming or thinking of doing some introspective work for yourself, figuring out, what am I really good at? What do I really want to do? And then also in the same, maybe a separate column, what do I not want to do? You know, there are some people who do not want to do weddings. They don't want to deal with the stress. They don't want to deal with the brides and grooms. They don't want to do any of that. So maybe start by making some lists about your most favorite types of clients or products that you've made, and think about the clients that buy those. What do they do? Who are they? Where do they work? When do when do they find you? Do they find you on Facebook? Do they find you at a local market? And start to kind of create your avatar, right? Create your ideal client person and think about what they want and try to add those two things together. So what's the ideal person? What have they wanted from you in the past? Who are they? And what do you like to do? And then try to focus it in there. I know it can be hard, and I don't know anything about your story to know what you have access to, where you sell your products, what you sell, all of that. But I want you to start there. And maybe if you get a list made up, you can share in the group or you can send me a message and we can talk about it some more, okay? All right. Now here are the 3 do's. Got the 3 don'ts, right? Don't forget about your current clients, so important. Don't talk about sales every time you post or talk to anybody about your business. And don't try to attract everyone, okay? Target marketing, those are the 3 don'ts. Do get your online presence in check. including your personal profile. So even if you don't want to friend people, people can still see things like your profile picture, your banner, stuff like that. If it's weird, if it's lewd, if it is out of focus, upside down, if it looks like you're not paying even like this much attention to your online presence, definitely clients are going to notice that. And it's going to stop you from getting new people coming to you and attracted to you, because they're not going to trust that you know what you're doing, especially if you're trying to run a business, but you don't know how to turn your profile picture to not be sideways. You know what I mean? There's just little things like that. It's super important because almost all interactions and transactions now start and almost always end online. So this is kind of your new business home, and we have to kind of take care of our business home and make sure that it looks presentable, that someone's living there, that someone's, attending to it. And this means that your social presence is most, if not all of the time, the information that the client has about you and your business, period. They might not know you personally. They might not have seen anything you've ever made. They might not have tasted anything you've ever made. So your online presence is basically like your face. It's like your first date. So you want to make it attractive, professional, and set up in a way that shows that you're attending to it. So you're posting, that kind of thing. If you have neglected your online presence, which don't get me wrong, I don't like being online all the time. It's not my favorite thing, but it's part of being a business owner, and I take that on and I try to do my best with it, with strong boundaries of when I'm going to be online, what I'm going to post, that kind of thing. So if you've neglected your online presence, which happens to everybody, or you don't understand how it's affecting your business or sales via the algorithm, how the platforms are made, how visibility works, when to post, that kind of stuff, it definitely could be negatively affecting the amount of clients that feel comfortable and confident using your services, just straight up. Autumn, again, your marketing coach, does a fabulous job of covering so much of your social presence on Facebook and Instagram inside the Elites. Those are the two top platforms that we should be using these days, so that you can reformat and successfully structure one step at a time, because it can be overwhelming. So she lays it out so that you can see, okay, here's my, what do I do about online security? What do I do about my personal profile? How do I set up a marketing strategy? What do I talk about online? How can I be authentic? How do I make an Instagram reel? All of those little things. It's all like digestible little videos, so you can essentially watch it and then implement. I've seen many bakers who claim to have a business. They say they're in the group. They say, yeah, I sell, cupcakes, whatever it is. But when I go look at their social media, you would absolutely never know. They don't have anything set up for me to know that they have a business. Your social presence, especially your personal page, is absolutely affecting your sales, like we talked about before. So I want to, if you have a little pen or something to write down, there's two things, well, technically three things I think you should look at right now today. Look at your banner. What's going on with it? How is it making your potential clients feel like you are a baker or you have anything to do with baking? Number two, your personal profile picture. Is it presentable enough that a new person that you've never met before would feel comfortable sending you money for a product? So, if you're like making out with somebody, if it's a blurry photo, if it's not even a photo of you, if it's a picture of a dog, that could be a problem because they won't trust you. Okay, so I want you to look at that. And number three, if you have not linked your Facebook business page to your bio, I want you to do that right now. So get the link to them, or you can tag it, however you need to get that information, put it in your bio. There's a spot that you can add in links, and I want you to put that there. So if anyone goes to your personal profile page, they can see your bio information, and it will say owner of Cupid Cupcakes, right? Or whatever the name of the business is. And you can click on it, and then it will take them to your business page. You got to get that funnel set up. Right, number two, do stay consistent with posting via branding and content topics. We've already talked about this a little bit. So it's the consistency that's important. If you think about how you spend your time online, do you have a plan? The answer is probably gonna be yes or no. If it's no, it's absolutely affecting how you're attracting your clients, because you're not looking forward to showing them what you have going on or connecting with them in a structured way. That usually means you're going to miss an amount of time, right? Because you're going to forget to post or something's going to happen. Consistency is one of the most important aspects of running any business, and you will soon find this out if you're new. Consistency is where it's at. Even if it feels like no one's listening, I want you to keep going and I want you to keep posting. Do you have to post every hour, every day? No, absolutely not. Posting schedules can work around your life, but it has to be a schedule. So even if it's once every couple days, that is fine, but I want it to be a schedule so that when I go to look at your business page, there's not 2 months of you posting nothing. You know, once a week minimum maybe, and then maybe you post every Monday, maybe you post every other day, maybe, you know, whatever you want it to be. You do not have to be online all the time, but consistency is important. All right, so additionally with the consistency, thinking about intention behind the post and the information you're sharing, like we talked about before, the pillars of content to fulfill those goals. So examples would be, you want to engage with your clients, you want to ask them a question, you want to get them to join the email list so you can send them your menu, you want them to follow your business page, you just want to make someone laugh, you want to share a funny meme, you want to connect about your family and say, you know, talk about something that's going on with your family. You want to show your skills and expertise, like the person who is posting the videos about them baking. You want to share about a sale that's coming up because you don't want your clients to miss out, etc. There's always an intention. Think about what you want to happen and then make the post after that. Does that make sense? So today I need to talk about my family because, you know, we've got a big move coming up in a couple months and I want people to be ready for that. So you post about it, but the intention was first and then the post is second. And number 3, do take opportunities to get into the community and give back. This can be taken a lot of different ways, but if you're like a hermit that's at home all the time and you never connect with anybody in real life, that is definitely affecting the amount of clients that you're getting. Joanne says live, late, but we'll watch replay. Sure, Joanne, yeah, glad you're here. Hey, Tiana, good to see you, #live. Okay, so taking the opportunities to get into the community and giving back. This one can be hard for people, again, because if you don't have strong boundaries, you can easily get taken advantage of as a baker. That happens a lot. So going into this, knowing you have some boundaries set up, but giving back, supporting other local businesses is huge. Taking part in events that you can attend, or even joining local boards or group meetings is super important and is a way for you to just get in there and give back. So when it comes down to it, a lot of life and your opportunities are based on being in the right place at the right time. So if you never put yourself out there, you won't be in the right place at the right time, and who you know. So making those connections, you have to take the first step to get out there and start working with that. So if you're hiding in your house, you don't know anyone locally, that's going to be a problem. Get in there, maybe start with just one thing. It doesn't have to be a lot, you know, all at once. Maybe you're joining a local foodies group. You know, maybe you just want to get in there and kind of see what people are doing. Maybe you want to make some posts about your favorite foods or something that you're making and baking today. Maybe you are starting to attend your chamber of commerce meetings to kind of see who are the other businesses in town. What do they do? Would they want to collaborate? You know, getting in there and just kind of seeing who's doing what. So let us know in the group once you had a chance to think about it, maybe take some notes, share your plan with us. Let us know what's the next thing you want to get involved with. You know, what's your plan? What is the next little step that you're going to take to try to get out there and get involved and maybe give back to your community? Hey, Stacy, good to see you. Now, before you head out for the day, we do have 2 events coming up soon that you might be interested in. I'm going to let you know what those are. So to recap on the don'ts, don't forget about your current clients. Don't talk about sales all of the time. Get your pillars of content set up so you're talking about other things sometimes so you can connect with your clients. And don't make it a plan to attract everyone. Use some target marketing and start attracting a certain group of people that want the products that you want to make and that are the ideal client that you would prefer to work with. Do get your online presence in check, starting with those 3 things I mentioned: your banner, your profile picture, and putting your business page in your bio. Do stay consistent with posting. So try to get some kind of schedule set up, even if it doesn't have to be every day, but getting a schedule set up so that you are showing up online more consistently. And 3, do take opportunities to get out into the community and give back. Let me plug this in real quick. I always think I'm going to be able to make it through these on my battery, but apparently not. Okay. So before you head out for the day, I wanted to fill you in on these things that we have going on. If your pricing needs some TLC, I know I've been posting about it, asking you some questions about a pricing bootcamp coming up, what you'd like to see with it. You want to give your pricing a professional upgrade, this is your opportunity. So you can join us for the upcoming Pricing for Profit Bootcamp. I plan to meet with all registered bakers once a week for about 8 weeks. As we work through the course together, the Pricing for Profit course, and discuss via Zoom live. So you can go through a section of the course I'm going to lay out in a schedule, watch the content, and then come to one of the meetings I have scheduled. Ask me any questions, we can discuss the content, whatever you need. My intention is to do Tuesday meetings, February 22nd through April 22nd. And we're going to take a 2-week mid-course break just so you can catch up if you need to, get a breather. It should be set up to where you can have a life while you're doing this. It shouldn't be too much. I'm kind of spreading it out for you. The bootcamp itself will include workbook sheets each week to keep you on track, the live coaching on those Tuesdays, and all replays of coaching sessions. I can email those who are registered as well in case you can't make it to the available slots. I'm hoping to have a couple every Tuesday so you can pick and choose what works. All of this is complimentary for anyone who is enrolled in the Pricing for Profit course. So the bootcamp itself does not have a cost associated, but you have to be in the Pricing for Profit course so that you have the content to discuss it with me during those meetings. So essentially, if you already have the course, which you might, I've been selling it for a couple of years, you are guaranteed attendance. You just have to let me know that you want the emails and that you want to come. If you aren't in the course yet, all you have to do is enroll in it before February 22nd, and then you can join in for those 8 weeks of the boot camp as well. Plus, you will always have lifetime access to that course. So, you can rewatch as many times as you want after the boot camp. And the kind of sweet thing about the Pricing for Profit course is I've set it up to be a catapult into the Elite Mentorship program. If you want to get additional support after you have your pricing set up profitably and you're ready to sell and make more income right away, it comes with a 1-month free access coupon inside the course itself. So once you enroll, you'll have access to that free coupon and you can use it at any point to get a month free in there with all the coaches and really get a lot of additional support from that course as well inside of the additional group coaching program. The second event that I want to tell you about isn't actually happening until April, but I wanted to fill you in now because I know some of you are thinking ahead of what you're going to do with 2022. You might have some additional funds in your account after Valentine's Day that you need to figure out what you're doing with it. I wanted to let you know that we're planning on reformatting and launching a new option to join the Elite program. So we've been in content creation mode for a couple of years. We're going to switch it. We're going to change to doing things like challenges and kind of breaking up the program so that you have options on what you want to be a part of and different pricing structure based on that. So what it's going to do is it's going to help more bakers get access to the 100+ hours of content that we have created specifically for you to start and grow your business inside of our Vault library. We have all this content sitting there. You've heard me reference it like 3 or 4 times today because it covers so much information that you will basically have all of it at your fingertips. You can reference it at any time when you are a part of the program. So those who register for the pricing bootcamp that's happening in a couple weeks are going to get first dibs on getting into the newly launched program options because I need to limit it because I need to make sure that everyone gets attention. So I don't want to open it up like a floodgate. And since we're accepting a limited number, that's why I'm going to offer it to the bootcamp people first to see if they want to come over into it that way. And then make sure that everything's good before we open it again for maybe another short enrollment. So if you'd like more information on the Pricing for Profit bootcamp that's coming up, please make sure to comment here, Pricing for Profit or bootcamp or whatever you want. I will get in touch with you via Messenger. We can talk over email or whatever you need to know to get started. I can get you links, whatever you need. Or you can send me a private message if that feels better. We can discuss there. I'm going to set up a registration link and verify that you have the course and all of that, and then get that started on February 22nd will be our first little part of the course. You will watch it and then meet with me, and then we'll talk about that part. Okay, and that will help you get your profitable pricing set for 2022. So this can be one of the best years you've ever had in your business. That's our goal. Vicki, you are so welcome. Thank you for telling me that. You're welcome, Joanne. Yes. Okay. All right. So that's it for me today. I'm going to be in the group. Obviously, my messenger is open. Let me know if you have questions, if you have thoughts about the video. Always here to chat with you. It is a pleasure getting to help you because the world needs more successful bakers. And I want our industry to go up a couple ticks so that we can all have sustainable wages and make this a career and make this an important part of the world rather than, not being able to make money and all that. I want everyone to be able to pay their bills and have a successful business at the same time. Okay. All right. I'm going to head out. I'll talk to y'all later.